Even though Ghana has about 85% electricity penetration in the country, large parts of the country still remain without electricity. Experts have argued that the president's pledge of 100% electricity coverage in the country by the end of his tenure can only be achieved by introducing renewable energy, especially in communities where access to the national grid will pose a major challenge. Despite this, there currently is an embargo on power purchase agreements in renewables in the country due to the oversubscription of these agreements without the corresponding output. In an interview with City Business News, Executive Director of the African Center for Energy Policy ACEP, Benjamin Wache, says the government needs to be open to partner in the private sector in addressing the challenge.
Because it's much more challenging to get electricity to everybody, and the way to do it, as we see it, is to also bring in the private sector to roll out renewable projects that target these smaller communities. We have seen even private sector companies who wanted to go to communities and build solar systems to be able to take care of those communities, but policy incoherence and ineffectiveness makes it even impossible for them to do that. For example, you go to a community where private sector and the community agrees that we can charge 1 cedi per kilowatt hour to generate electricity for you. And the state says, no, I want you to charge 50 pesos. Meanwhile, the community, by their own right, agrees that they want to pay a certain value for the private sector to supply them electricity. The state is not able to supply electricity, but the state is denying them their right because they think that there should be a uniform tariff across the country. So policy incoherence, and you don't have the capacity to send electricity to everybody. And people want to take up their own costs to be able to supply electricity to their community. And they are stopped by regulators on the back of the fact that we want a uniform price across the country. So these are some of the reforms. If you really want to extend electricity, bring in the private sector,